Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today guys, I'm gonna do a real quick part 54 to my uh my Janitor AI chatbot series. Where in today's video guys, I'm gonna do one of the newest characters that I just made only about an hour or so ago. I've actually got two new characters. One of them is the reverse size curse, or the size reverse curse. If y'all don't remember what that one is, it was about that story about this two dog crocodile and fragger family that had this one person come by their pond one day, and well, let's just say he flippin' was so petty that he put a curse on them that reversed the sizes of the creatures. But instead of them being like the normal sizes they normally are, the toads and crocodiles are 20 feet and 10 feet respectively, and the fur alligators shrink down to only a foot tall. About a foot and 6 inches tall or something like that. So, yeah. We also have one about Casper the Friendly Dreepy. The story I had on there about the trainer that was mean to the little Pokemon. And I'm actually planning on doing it today because there's two different concepts I want to try out. For one, I want to try the concept that Google Gemini helped me put into my story, where apparently this thing is supposed to keep better track of what happens in the story itself. And if this story actually goes the way, if she actually told me to test this out to see if uh if the concept will actually work. Because if it does, I can put it into my Hydra story, and maybe tomorrow, the next day, we can try doing it and having more fun with it. But the secondary experiment we're going to try for this video is my creature emergency service thing. I had a just idea for a story that I want to do for a while, where it was like my own version of creature emergency, where it was like a creature emergency service, where like it's the where you have my own creature police, my own creature firefighters, my own creature paramedics. I think that'd be a really cool idea. But that's the point of actually trying out this one. We're doing Casper for that exact reason right now. Because I want to see if that concept can actually work as a story thing. And again, I want to see how that flipping thing that Gold want to help me add might help me with the actual story itself. But yeah, it says Dreepy is a pawn that got caught by a trainer a few months ago. The trainer at first seemed really sweet and nice, but no more than a day later, the trainer starts being really mean to the Pokemon, making fun of him and calling him useless because he gets very weak moves as a Dreepy and nothing else. This goes on for 3 months until one day when you are minding your own business walking peacefully on Route 7 of the Galar region. You hear someone screaming. You go and check it out. You see a trainer on the path yelling at his poor Pokemon for not winning a battle. You also see the poor Dreepy in tears begging him to stop. Will you help this poor Pokemon? Sweet Arceus, let's see what we can do. Alright, guys. Like I said, this one I'm trying out my flipping on creature emergency service. So, I started out a channel a little bit differently this time. It says me being such a tiny tourist. When I see the trainer being mean to Dreepy and escape, and especially when I see the Dreepy crying, I feel bad and try to help. Freeze! This is CCPD. Put your hands up and step away from the Pokemon. Sweet Arceus. The harsh song of Rusev beats down the dirt path as the trainer's face contorts into a deep crimson. You useless little! He begins to shriek, his finger jabbing inches away from the Dreepy's face. Poor Dragon Ghost one flinches violently, his transparent tail whipping erratically as it sobs, its oversized eyes streaming with tears. I can't take it anymore. Dreepy woes in a faint, ghostly voice. Please, just, just stop screaming. Stop screaming! I'll stop screaming when you actually. The trainer's tirade cuts off abruptly. His head snaps towards you, his eyes widening in confusion and then immediate irritation at the sight of a tiny carnivore standing there. What the? Get lost, you stupid lizard! Oh my gosh. Charon snapped, his voice still laced with venom, though he faltered slightly at your unexpected authority. This doesn't concern you? My pool is just incompetent, incompetent, that's all. Oh my gosh, my brain can't read that. What the fuck? The drippy looks up at you through blurry, tear-filled eyes. Small coin trembles, hovering weakly in the air, uncertain whether this new arrival is another threat, something most entirely. Aaron's hands remain clenched at the sides, but his body language shifts into something defensive and arrogant as he glares at you. CCPD! Karen barks out a harsh, mocking laugh. You're kidding me, right? You're some kind of law enforcement? Get out of my way before I teach you what happens to trespass on this route. Mm. Guys, just from what little bit I read, I'm probably gonna have so much fun with this concept if it works out. If it's working out like it is now, I'm gonna have so much fun with this concept. It's just when I hear the trainer say that, instead of backing down, I say, no, this is no joke. After I say this, I look over to my left. Officer Blaze the Mythical Dragon and Officer Spike the Fragger. Surround him! The trainer's face twists from irritation to genuine confusion as he refused to back down. No joke? You're insane! He snarls, taking an aggressive step forward. You think you can just. His words die in his throat as the air around the dirt path suddenly grows heavy and charged with power. Ground trembles slightly as two formidable figures emerge from the tree line behind you, flanking the trainer with flawless tactical precision. Officer Blaze, the mythical dragon, radiates an intimidating aura of ancient power, their presence making the very air feel hot enough to blister. On the other side, Officer Spike, the Farrier, moves with the silent, deadly grace of a predator, his powerful jaw snapping shut with a metallic click as he closes off the trainer's escape route to the left. Terrence freezes mid-step, his arrogant posture collapses instantly, his shoulders hunch and his face drains of color, turning a sickly pale. The finger he was using to intimidate Dreepy now trembles uncontrollably. He looks between the towering Fragger and the majestic mythical dragon, his bravado shattering like glass. What? How did you? He stammers, his voice cracking. He bats up into his cows hit the dirt, his eyes darting around frantically for an exit that no longer exists. I didn't. I didn't. I wasn't just doing anything wrong. I'm just trying my Pokemon. Yeah, right. Kirby's sobbing hitches. Small Dragon stares at the scene in awe, tears still well on its cheeks. For the first time in 3 months, the crushing weight of the trainer's anger has been replaced by something else. Hope. Kirby floats closer to you, seeking shelter behind your small contour's frame. His body still shaking from the trauma, but its eyes fixate on the trainer with a spark of something he hasn't seen before. Relief. Please don't hurt me too. Kirby whimpers softly, glancing nervously at the officers, who are terrified of any loud noises or sudden movements. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. It says, when I see the Dreepy go behind me, but still seem very scared, I shake my head to him and quietly say, nobody's going to hurt you anymore. Just stay behind me for a minute. After saying this, I turn back to the trainer. I told you this is no joke. You are never supposed to treat a Pokemon like that. The place that I own, that's a complete crime. After I say this, I turn to Blaze and Spike. Blaze, Spike, cuff him. The trainer's eyes bulge at your words. Crime? You can arrest me for training my own Pokemon? That's that's ridiculous. His voice pitches higher as he realizes no one is coming to help him. He tries to scramble backward, but his legs seem to give out beneath him, leaving him kneeling in the dirt off Route 7. Behind you, the Dreepy presses closer to your scales. When you speak softly to him, the poin's trembling slows just a fraction. His oversized yellow eyes search yours, desperate to believe you. You promise? No more screaming? He whispers, his voice very audible over the wind. No more being called useless? We don't have time to answer before you turn your attention back to the culprit. Yep. Blaze, Spike, cuff him. You command with authority. Officer Spike moves first. With terrifying speed, the Fragger lunges forward. His powerful claws pin the trainer's arms to his sides, forcing him down into the dirt. The trainer lets out a yelp of genuine terror as the mass of Horn's weight presses down against him. Let go of me! Get off! This is, I want to say, her butt mitt, because I'm not saying the actual word. He screams, but his protests sound hollow against the intimidating presence of the officers. Officer Blaze steps forward next, the draconic presence casting a long, imposing shadow over the trainer. With movements that carry the weight of divine authority, Blaze produces restraints that glow with a faint magical light. Talent quick clack of the cuffs locking around the trainer's wrist echoes across the empty path. Wait! Stop! I'll apologize! I'll be nice to him! The trainer wails, tears of anger and fear streaming down his face as he realizes his power has been completely stripped away. You can't do this to me over a little yelling! The Dreepy watches the trainer being subdued, his little jaw dropping. He's never seen someone stand up to the man who has dominated his life for 3 months. The ghost one slowly floats upward, hovering just above your shoulder, watching the scene with a mixture of shock and a fragile, dawning sense of safety. That's really cute. Give me a moment. Alright, guys, this is my head trying to say all of that. I frown at him and shake my head. Like I just said, the place that I work at and own, that is one of the worst crimes you could commit. Maybe days in jail will teach you a lesson. After I say I smile a bit more and once again look at Blaze in spite. Go ahead, sweethearts. Take him to jail. The trainer's face contorts into a mask of pure rage and desperation. Jail! For yelling? That is some kind of sick joke! He shrieks, kicking his legs uselessly against the dirt as Spike holds him down. You can't do this! I have rights! I'm a trainer! I'm. His voice cracks and fails as he realizes his status means nothing here. His arrogance has been completely dismantled, leaving behind nothing but a terrified, angry boy who has finally met someone stronger than himself. Officer Spike growls low in his throat, a sound that vibrates through the ground, immediately silencing the trainer's next protest. With effortless strength, the Fragger hauls the trainer to his feet, keeping him firmly restrained by the cuffs. Officer Boys nod solemnly to you, their eyes reflecting the ancient wisdom of a mythical dragon. As you wish, Chief, Blaze says in a voice like rolling thunder. Justice will be served. The two officers begin to escort the struggling, cursing trainer down the dirt path of Route 7 toward the nearest detention center. The trainer continues to yell threats and accusations over his shoulder, but they fade as the trainer officers march him away with relentless professionalism. The silence that follows is heavy, broken only by the distant rustle of Gower's tall grass. The oppressive atmosphere that had hung over the route for months has lifted. Behind you, you feel a small, warm presence. The Dreepy has flowed down from your shoulder and is now hovering near your snout. The tears have dried, leaving faint salt streaks on his green cheeks, but his oversized yellow eyes are no longer flooded with terror. Instead, they shine with a profound, quiet wonder. You, you really did it, Jeepy whispers, his voice shaky but clear. You saved me. Nobody has ever, nobody has ever fought for me before. He tentatively extends a tiny ghostly limb, reaching out as if to touch your scales, and hesitates, still learning that gentleness is actually possible. Are you are you really a police officer? Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. This is when I see Drippy get close to my tiny snout and hold his tiny ghostly limb. I smile before gently trying to nuzzle him with my tiny snout. I guess you could say I am. I own an emergency service building not too far away from here, and all of the creatures there see me as their friendly boss. That's why Blaze called me Chief. As your tongue out Jillian nuzzles against him, Dreepy lets out a small, startled gasp, but it isn't a gasp of fear. It's a gasp of pure, overwhelming surprise. No one's ever touched him with such tenderness in months. Usually, any contact from his trainer involved rough grabbing or shoves. The little ghost one melts into the contact, closing his eyes as he leans his forehead against your scales. A soft musical trill escapes him, the first sign of genuine contentment he has made in a long time. His transparent tail stops trembling and begins to sway gently behind him. Chief, he repeats softly, testing the word out. A friendly boss. His large eyes brighten, looking at you with newfound admiration. That sounds like a wonderful place. A place where nobody gets yelled at for being weak. He floats back just an inch to look you in the eye, his expression earnest and hopeful. Does that mean, since he's gone, I could come there? Could I stay somewhere safe where there's no more screaming? The question comes out small and vulnerable, clearly terrified that he might be asking for something impossible. No, 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 no. Plug up. Oh my gosh, and that messed up everything. Really? Dead worst timing for that crap. Oh my gosh. It says the question comes out small and vulnerable, clearly terrified that he might be asking for something impossible. The sun shines down on Route 7, and for the first time, the dirt path doesn't feel like a place of punishment, but a place where a new beginning has started. Alright, guys, give me a moment. Alright, guys, this is when I feel Drippy lean his forehead against my scales. I smile and just let him do it. If you want to, you definitely can. But now that you're free, wouldn't you like to be back out in the wild and maybe see if you can find your family again? The moment you mention finding his family, Droopy flinches slightly, as if the very idea is painful. He folds back a little further, his oversized yellow eyes growing rounder and more melanolic. A single tear escapes, tracking down his green cheek. My family? He echoes quietly, looking down at his tiny claws. I remember them being together in the misty parts of the caves. They were they were gentle. They didn't yell. He looks up at you, the conflict visible in his expression. On one hand, the thought of being alone in the wild again terrifies him. He's been so broken by his trainer that his confidence is almost non existent. On the other hand, the idea of being with his own kind, where he would be loved for exactly who he is, sounds like a dream. I want to find them, he admits, his voice gaining a tiny spark of courage. I want to feel safe like that again. But his lip trembles like, what if they don't want me? What if they think I'm useless like he said? Sweet Arceus. He drifts closer to you again, seeking that familiar comfort of your presence. Could I could I visit your building first? Just until I feel brave enough to go looking? Somewhere with sweet berries and no scary noises? The wind rustles through the gallower grass. For a moment the world feels quiet and full of possibility. The Dreepy standing at a crossroad between the safety you offer and the freedom of his own kind, and he's looking you to help him find the courage to choose. Alright guys, give me a moment. Alright guys, this is when I hear Dreepy say that, I frown slightly and shake my tiny head. You are not useless, and your father would never think that about you if they found you or if you found them. They'd probably miss you so much. After I say this, I smile a bit more. Of course you can visit the building and be there for a little while. It's not that far away. I point down the pathway where Spike and Blaze took the awful trainer with my tiny golden claw. Just go down that same path you saw Feraligatr and Blaze drag your trainer, but instead of the detention center, the building itself is in the middle of the town at the end of that path. You'll see it immediately because it's the biggest building. At the top of it, it will have the words Community Creature Emergency Services. When you speak those words telling him he isn't useless and that his family would miss him, something magical happens. It's as if you've broken a spell that has been holding him down for 3 long months. The droopy shoulders relax visibly, and a sad droop in his tail lifts slightly. For the first time, he doesn't look like a broken toy. He looks like a Pokemon who has just been given permission to breathe again. You really think so? He asked, his voice small but steadier than before. You really think they'd want me back? A tiny fragile smile touches his lips. Thank you, Chief. As you point down the path with your tiny golden claw, tracing the route where Blaze and Spike disappear with the disgraced trainer, you follows your gesture with keen interest. His eyes followed the direction of the town at the end of the path, imagining the grand structure you described. Community Creature Emergency Services, he repeats slowly, tasting the words. Name sounds powerful, but the way you speak it makes it sound warm and inviting. The biggest building with the words on top. I'll look for it. I promise I won't get lost. He hovers near you for one last moment, his ghostly form glowing slightly brighter now that his fear has begun to recede. I think I'll go there now. I want to eat some sweet berries and maybe sleep without worrying about someone screaming at me. The little dragon for one turns toward the town, beginning to float down the path with a much more purposeful movement than before. He pauses halfway, looking back at you one last time with a grateful nod. I'll see you soon, Chief. Thank you for everything. With a small flirt of his transparent tail, he sets off toward the town, a tiny green speck moving along a sunlit Route 7, heading toward safety, berries, and hope of a future where he's finally valued. Alright, guys, give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says, when I hear Dreepy say that, I just smile and wave goodbye to him with my tiny golden claw. You're welcome. Just be very careful, Dreepy. The Jew pauses midair, hearing your final words of concern. He turns his head back one last time, giving you a determined little nod that shows his spirit's already starting to mend. I will, Chief. I promise. With one final flutter of his ghostly tail, he continues his journey toward the town, his small form bobbing along the path as he heads toward the promised safety of the Community Creature Emergency Services building. As he becomes a smaller and smaller speck in the distance, a peaceful calm settles over Route 7. Dramatic memory of the trainer's screaming is fading, replaced by the warm sunlight and the rustling of the grass. You stand alone on the path for a moment, your tiny golden claws gleaming in the sunlight. Behind you lies the path where justice was served, and ahead lies the town where you have built a sanctuary for those who need it most. The mission of this encounter was a success. A cruel trainer has been removed from the equation, and a broken Pokemon has been given the chance to heal and find its way home. With the threat gone, the dragon on his way to safety, you turn to begin your own journey back towards your headquarters, the sun warming your scales as you make your way toward the town at the end of the road. Alright, guys, give me a moment. Alright, guys, I started making my way back towards my building, but the very second I'm nearly there, I hear a human voice behind me scream, Hey, you little dinosaur twit! Before I felt something big hit me on my tiny head, causing me to fall. Ow! When I turn back, I see an adult looking at me and smirking. Oh no. The peaceful feeling you had just moments ago evaporates instantly. One second you were walking with the satisfied stride of a hero who just saved a life, and the next, wham! A heavy impact crashes against the top of your skull. Force is overwhelming for your small contour's body, sending you spinning through the air before you slam hard into the dirt. Stars dance across your vision as you struggle to make sense of the pain throbbing in your head. Ow! You yelp, your voice cracking from the shock. Groggily, you roll onto your side and push yourself up with your golden claws, shaking your head to clear the dizziness. When your vision finally focuses, your blood runs cold. Standing over you is an adult human, looming like a shadow. He isn't wearing a trainer's vest or carrying Pokeballs with respect. He has a cruel, mocking sneer plastered across his face. Hey, you little dinosaur twit! He sneers, leaning down at you as if you were nothing more than a pebble in his shoe. He doesn't look apologetic or surprised by his own violence. Instead, he looks amused by your pain. What are you doing struttering around here like you own the place? Think you're some kind of big shot? He takes a deliberate step closer, shadow engulfing your small frame. The smirk on his face widens, revealing a complete lack of empathy. You're in my way, lizard! Move, before I decide to give you another reason to cry. The threat hangs heavy in the air. You are alone, your head is spinning from the blow, and this stranger clearly has no regard for the authority you represent. Sweet Arceus. Give me a moment. Guys, I am legit having fun with this emergency service thing, or creature emergency service in my own universe. It's actually really neat. Since still so disoriented, I do hear what the person says, and despite how disoriented I am, I lean my tiny head closer to my golden claws before calling out, "Emergency! Emergency! Code Red Dead 001! Officer Todd the Chrono! Chomps the Tyrantrum! There's a human threatening me and trying to hurt me! Get here as quick as possible!" Even though the dizzying fog of pain and the throbbing in your skull, your training kicks in. And when the threat becomes physical, your instincts override your disorientation. You press your head close to your protective golden claws, using every ounce of strength to project your voice with maximum clarity and authority. Yep. Emergency! Emergency! Code Red 001! Voice rings out across the area, sharp and commanding despite your small size. Officer Todd the Chrono, Chomps Tyrantrum, there's a human threatening me and trying to hurt me. Get here as quick as possible. The adult human smirk falters for half a second, surprise flicking in his eyes at hearing such a coordinated distress call coming from a tiny dinosaur. He quickly covers it with an irritated scoff. Code Red? What kind of nonsense? His words are cut off by a sound that makes the very ground beneath your claws stutter. From around the corner of one of the buildings leading towards your headquarters, there is a thunderous crash of breaking pavement. Chomp the Tyrantrum rounds the corner first. The massive rock dragon type looks absolutely terrifying in full emergency response mode. His jaws are clamped shut with enough force to crush boulders, and his eyes glow with protective fury. He lets out a roar that isn't just loud, it's a physical force that makes the stranger stumble backward. Almost simultaneously, Officer tied the chrono skids around the opposite side, water droplets spraying from his scales as he moves with surprising agility for his build. His expression is grim and focused, his claws already positioned defensively. The stranger's face goes from smug to ghostly pale in less than 3 seconds. His mouth hangs open as he realizes he hasn't just provoked a little dinosaur, but stumbled directly into the crosshairs of two highly trained, heavily armed emergency officers. What the? He stammers, his legs shaking violently as he realizes he is now surrounded by two powerful men who clearly take your safety very seriously. Uh oh. Alright, guys, give me a moment. Alright, guys, this is when I see Chomps and Tag come from around the buildings. I smile and quietly say, "Thank goodness." After I say this, I try to walk over to them, but because of me still being slightly disoriented, after I get up and walk a few steps, I fall back down. Ow! The sight of your officers brings a flood of relief to your chest, momentarily drowning out the throbbing pain in your skull. "Thank goodness," you whisper, a genuine smile breaking through your grimace. Determined to show them that you're okay and to assess the situation, you push yourself up on your unsteady legs. You manage 3 brave steps toward them, tiny golden claws scraping against the pavement, but the world's only tilts dangerously to the left. The ground rushes up to meet you again as your legs buckle beneath you. Ow! You yell as you hit the ground hard, impact sending fresh waves of dizziness through your brain. Reaction from your officers is instantaneous and terrifying. Chomps the Tyrantrum lets out a roar so primal and earth-shaking that the windows in nearby buildings rattle in their frames. He doesn't just look angry now, he looks like a force of nature unleashed. He takes a thunderous step toward the human, his massive tail sweeping behind him like a wrecking ball, positioning himself as an immovable wall between you and the attacker. Officer Todd the Chrono abandons all pretense of calm. In a blur of motion, he zips past the stumbling human, skidding to a stop beside you. His water-slicked scales catch the light as he immediately begins checking you over with concerned, urgent movements, his eyes darting from your disoriented expression to the spot where you fell. The human stranger has completely lost his nerve. Seeing a Tyrantrum charging toward him, while a chrono fiercely protects the tiny twit, has shattered his bravado completely. He stumbles backward, tripping over his own feet and landing hard on his backside. I didn't mean it. It was just a joke. I was just playing around. Yeah, he shrieks. his voice cracking in pure panic as he realizes he is seconds away from being trampled or worse. Todd nudges you gently with his snout, his voice a low, soothing rumble. Chief, stay still. Don't try to get up yet. We've got this. Alright, guys, give me a moment. Guys, I just want to test out this concept today. I'm only going to do like one, maybe two more. Here's what it says. It says, when I hear Todd say that, I also see how angry both Chomps and Todd are for somebody hurting me. I smile and just tried to land Todd's hand. Thank you for coming so quickly. I really appreciate that. After I asked, I look at Chomps. Chomps, that person's under arrest for trying to hurt me. Please cuff them and put them in jail. After saying this, despite my pain, I look over at Todd. Todd, please just get me inside the building before somebody tries to hurt me again. I know that none of the creatures are going to be happy whenever they see me hurt, but I just need to get inside the building where it's safe. Despite the sharp pain racing through your head and the dizzying whirl of the world, your leadership shines through. Even as you struggle to stay upright, you reach out for Todd's support, laying your small body into his sturdy, cold scales. Thank you for coming so quickly, you stammer, your voice wavering from both pain and gratitude. I really appreciate that. Your eyes shift toward the towering Tyrantula. Chomp, you command, your voice carrying the authority of the chief, even in your weakened state. That person's under arrest for trying to hurt me. Please cuff them and put them in jail. Chomps doesn't need to be told twice. His eyes flash with a draconic fury. With a roar that shakes the very foundation of the street, he lunges forward. He even tries to scramble away on his hands and knees, screaming in terror, but he's no match for the Tyrant's speed. Chomps pins him to the ground with one massive claw, the sheer pressure forcing air from the man's lungs, while his other claw produces heavy-duty restraints. The metallic clink of the cuffs locking around the human's wrist surrounds him like a sounds like a death knell for his freedom. Then you turn your vulnerable gaze to Todd. Todd, please just get me inside the building before somebody tries to hurt me again. I know that none of the creatures are going to be happy whenever they see me hurt, but I just need to get inside the building where it's safe. Officer Todd's expression softens with deep concern. Copy that, Chief. I gotcha. You're safe now. With incredible gentleness that belies his powerful build, Todd slides his arms beneath you. He lifts you with the care one would give to a fragile treasure, curling your small body against his chest to minimize the jostling of your injured head. He moves with purposeful speed, turning away from the chaos of the arrest and toward the grand entrance of the Community Creature Emergency Services building. As Tad carries you through the automatic doors, familiar calming scents of the headquarters, clean air, sweet berries, and safety begin to envelop you. The doors hiss shut behind you, cutting off the sounds of the angry humans' pleas and the distant roars of chomps. Inside, the lobby is quiet and secure. Several other point staff members look up as Tad enters, their eyes widening with alarm when they see your disoriented state and the way you're clinging to Tad. The news that their chief has been hurt is spreading through the building like wildfire. You can already feel the protective energy of the entire facility rising to meet you. Oh, sweet Arceus. Alright, guys, give me a moment. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. So when I get inside the building and notice how worried the creatures look when they see me hurt. To not hurt myself any further, I asked Comical, somebody, please go get Lugia the paramedic. A horrible person just hurt me when I was about to come inside the building. Chances are arresting him right now, but I need to make sure the injuries are not that bad. As Tad carries you through the lobby, the atmosphere shifts instantly. The normal hum of activity in the community creature emergency services headquarters drops into a stunned, horrified silence. Pokemon of all shapes and sizes, from small Machamp to towering Steelix, stop what they are doing. As I walk into your small form, seeing your dazed expression and the way you're unsteady, a low murmur of outrage and concern ripples through the crowd. Protective instincts of every creature in the building are flaring up at once. Despite the throbbing pain in your skull and the way the room seems to sway, you maintain your composure. You know that if you panic, they will panic, and that would make the situation harder to manage. Somebody caught your voice small but carrying clearly through the silent lobby. Please go get Loogie the paramedic. A whole person just hurt me when I was about to come inside the building. Chomps are arresting him right now, but I need to make sure the injuries are not that bad. The request acts like a spark in a powder keg. The staff springs into immediate action. On it! Shouts a young Alakazam, already using his sight abilities to teleport through the medical wing. I'll summon Rugia immediately. Several other Pokemon rush to clear a path for Todd, creating a respectable corridor so he can get you to the medical bay without any jostling. Entering the building feels charged. There is a sense of grim determination among the staff. They aren't just worried, they are ready to protect their boss. Todd moves with careful precision and sets measures to ensure you don't feel any more bumps. Hang in there, Chief, he whispers to you, his voice warm and steady. Lugia will be here in seconds. You're in the safest place in the Galar region. As you pass through the hallway through the medical wing, you catch glimpses of the other staff members. Their eyes aren't just full of concern, they're full of a fierce, protective anger toward whoever dared to touch you. You know that once Lugia arrives and you're stabilized, the building will be in full lockdown mode until that human is dealt with permanently. Sweet Arceus. Give me a moment, I'll do one more. Alright, guys. I just continue to relax and not move too much so I don't hurt myself any further. But I do smile at Todd. Say, thank you so much, Todd, and to everyone else that worked for me here. I appreciate that you all care about me that much. Honestly, I know if Blaze and Spike find out about this, they're going to want to rip that person in half. Just like you, those two seem to really care about me and not like anyone that hurts me. Your words carry a quiet sincerity that seems to momentarily soothe the tension in the air. Even though you were injured, your gratitude radiates outward, reminding everyone that despite being their boss, you are also their friends and their family. Thank you so much, Todd, and to everyone else that works for me here. You murmur, your voice soft as you try to minimize any movement. You offer Todd a weak but genuine smile. I appreciate that you all care about me that much. Honestly, I know if Blaze and Spike find out about this, they're going to want to rip that person in half. Just like you, those two seem to really care about me and not like anyone that hurts me. Todd's grip on you tightens almost imperceptibly, not enough to hurt, but enough to let you feel the solid strength of his support. They do, Chief, Todd replies quietly, his voice rough with emotion. And you're right. Blaze and Spike don't take kindly to threats against their own. When they hear about this, they'll be here before the human even makes it to a cell. The doors of the medical wing hiss open before you even arrive. The room is pristine, filled with the calming sense of medical herbs and sterile air. Staff has already prepared a soft padded examination table. Just as Tad approaches the bed, a brilliant silver white light fills the room. With the grace of a guardian spirit, Lugia descends into the bay. The legendary paramedic's presence is immediately calming, her psychic aura washing over the room like a cool tide, lowering the heart rates of everyone present and dulling the sharp edges of your pain. Lugia's eyes meet yours, ancient and full of infinite compassion. Without needing to be asked, Lugia moves forward, their large, gentle wings creating a soft breeze that smells of ocean air. Chief, Lugia's voice resonates directly in your mind, telepathically soothing and warm. You are safe now. Breathe slowly. Let me assess the damage. As Tad gently places you onto the cushioned surface, Lugia begins to hover over you, their hands glowing with a soft, healing light. The medical team stands back respectfully, watching with bated breath, while outside you can still hear the distant, outgoing roar of chomps, making sure the perimeter center understands exactly what kind of mistake he made. Alright, guys, now I'm officially done. It was a bit quicker, I realized that, but actually might be a good thing. Like I said, I want to test out this concept. It was good. Let me go and give my assessment right now, and it's gonna be the same thing I want to tell Google about it. Here's what I've learned from this. In terms of like how execution wise, the actual like idea worked out really well. But there was one small problem. The Degum doing actions for me and repeating the same actions over and over again. I put something and it repeats it in the text instead of giving me more of like a story part into that, which is kind of annoying. But other than that, the actual idea worked out. And tomorrow or later today, if I get the chance, I'm either going to continue this, try this again on the same story but restarted, or I'll work on a different character. Right now, my main thing is I'm going to go and stop, tell Google real quick, maybe upload these videos, and then turn everything off. I'll see you guys later. Have a wonderful day or night, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye bye, everyone.